Alright guys, it's official. I have FSD 12.5, one of the lucky few I guess, probably because this is a newer 2024 Model 3 with the hardware version 4, I believe, and they may be rolling it out to that first. Let's give it a shot, heading to Kroger. I can tell you I've already done a small drive with it, but I did not have the camera, and I am very impressed. FSD went from feeling like probably like a new 16-year-old driver to feeling like a seasoned driver. It's also quite fast. Let me check my FSD profile before we start, because the assertive was actually almost too fast, it felt like, after the update. Here we go. I believe this update uses eye tracking to gauge your attentiveness. It has not nagged on the steering wheel yet, but maybe I didn't give it enough time. We'll see. This turn always takes me forever, but I feel like, well, now it'll make a liar out of me, but if it wasn't for that car, it was making this turn in about half the time, and I greatly appreciate that. That still felt like a faster turn by comparison. The infamous speed hump. Okay, it did catch it that time. Even in this average driving profile, it still feels like it's trying to take off very fast. I don't mind it, but when there are passengers in the car, it can be a little jolting for them. So it feels like it's always gunning it. Okay, not sure why it did that. That was pretty bad. um, I would say that was unsafe, actually. And let me explain why. If you look at, I just uploaded a video talking about cleaning the Tesla cameras. Please watch that video. At the end, I show what I think might be some blind spots in the camera system based on the positioning of them and what you can see in Sentry View. What happened was when I took that turn out onto this road, there was a car coming. There's a car behind me right now. Me as a human driver, I would not have made that turn. I would have waited. The Tesla pulled out. I thought maybe it would get in the far lane, the lane I'm in now, but it did not. And it stayed in that lane, and the car behind me got somewhat close. I mean, I was able to accelerate out of it, but I do feel like that was actually kind of an unsafe pullout from the street there. And that's why I said 12.5 is very assertive. Maybe it's even overconfident at this point, where 12.36 may have been judged to be underconfident. But here we are at Kroger. So a short but quite exciting trip with pulling out in front of that car. Very interesting. All right, I've bumped the driving profile down to chill, because 12.5 seems much more aggressive by nature. So let me get out of this parking lot here. Being that I had that mishap, I will get out by myself. Here we go, we're clear. I'll turn on FSD, mid-turn, there we go. Ooh. Still feels aggressive. Makes me even wonder if it's abiding by the assertive, average, and chill driving profiles, because it's definitely very fast. Now that was interesting. It normally doesn't slow down as much in that lane, but it did. It paused a lot. Maybe it was scanning the cameras more. Definitely no hesitation on the lane changes. I will say that. I noticed it right away. It was my biggest gripe with 12.3.6. And look at that light, that yellow light. I feel like 12.3.6 would have slowed down for that one. 12.5 kept going. It was the right call. Definitely had time to make that light. But the lane changes are definitely less wobbly, which I approve. It did delay getting into this lane just now, but it did not waver. It didn't go back and forth, so that's great. I'm going to hover over the brake here just in case, because 12.5 seems a little jumpy. It thought about it, but it keeps waiting, and that's good. That's exactly what a human driver would do, quite frankly. You think you can go, but if it's uncomfortable, well, I'll just wait a little bit longer. Whereas with 12.3.6, I felt like I kept my foot on the accelerator more in case I needed to push the car ahead because it's too slow. I definitely already with 12.5, I might tend to hover over the brake more just in case it gets a little too aggressive. But no steering wheel nags so far, so I do believe that is gone, which is nice. I can focus. I feel like I can actually focus more on just what the car is doing without having to every now and then put some pressure on the wheel. And if you notice, I noticed this when I got to Kroger. If I take over after it says navigation complete, it no longer asks me why I disengaged autopilot. That had to have been a bug before, where when it was done driving, essentially, it would ask you to take over, and then you took over, and it said, "Hey, what was the problem?" It doesn't do that anymore. Now, when I get to where I'm going, if I take over, that message doesn't show up. So again, another bug fixed. Um, Thanks for coming along for this first drive with 12.5. I plan to do more driving this weekend and upload some videos since I think I am one of the earlier people to receive this update. Like, subscribe, and comment below.